A look at vascular changes throughout the different body systems.
The three body systems that influence vascular changes are the renal system, the cardiovascular system, and the nervous system.
In the kidneys, blood enters the glomerulus through the afferent arteriole and exits through the efferent arteriole, creating GFR. Depending on blood pressure and GFR, these arterioles will either vasoconstrict or vasodilate. A few things that affect this process are the autonomic nervous system, prostaglandins, bradykinins, and the RAS system.
The RAS system starts when blood pressure is too low. The kidneys produce renin and the liver produces angiotensin. These two combine and create angiotensin 1. The lungs produce ACE, which combines with angiotensin 1 to create angiotensin 2. Angiotensin 2 does three main things. Firstly, it creates an increased level of thirst using the hypothalamus. Second, it vasoconstricts vessels throughout the body. And lastly, it travels to the adrenal cortex and produces aldosterone, which increases sodium and water retention. These three things help to increase the blood pressure in the body.
The autonomic nervous system is composed of two parts, the sympathetic and parasympathetic. The sympathetic uses epinephrine to bind to alpha and beta receptors to vasoconstrict the blood vessels in the body. The parasympathetic uses acetylcholine to bind to muscarinic and nicotinic receptors, which causes vasodilation of the blood vessels in the body.
The cardiovascular system uses chemo and baroreceptors to monitor the chemical and pressure-based needs for vasoconstriction and vasodilation throughout the body. When looking at the main cardiovascular control centers, baroreceptors are used to see if blood pressure is too low or too high. If blood pressure is too low, the vasomotor center will be stimulated by sympathetic ganglions. This will cause epinephrine to bind to alpha and beta receptors and will cause vasoconstriction throughout the vessels. If blood pressure is too high, the vagal center will be stimulated by cranial nerves 9 and 10. This will cause acetylcholine to bind to M2 receptors and will cause blood vessels to vasodilate.
Created using Patho.